am Jeff C. So excited that you guys are all here for another edition of this awesome show. We would love for you guys to sprinkle the love across all the interwebs. Let everybody know that you are here and ask your questions while we're doing the show. This is going to be a little bit different show today here with Susan, and we're going to have a lot of fun. But, you know, as we're talking, we've got some really cool stuff that we'll be talking about. Feel free to mention your friends down below. Call them into the conversation. They can watch the replay if they're busy eating lunch or whatever. But we would love to talk to you during the show, so feel free to comment. Susan, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm good, but you're actually allowed to eat and watch the show at the same time, right?
I can? Or are you talking to me, or are you just talking to our people?
I think we should get that out. You know, you said if they're eating lunch, they should watch it later, but I'm fine.
I better not eat. It's not. Stuff gets in the beard. It's just not. The people would tune away. It wouldn't be good. So, how are you doing this week?
I'm good. Yeah, things are good. It's exciting times at Tailwind. We have kind of the show we planned today is maybe a little bit different. I'm thinking of it as the Tailwind Variety Hour. We're going to talk about
Susan
a lot
will
of
be
things.
singing.
Yes. I mean, I couldn't put that in the invitation because clearly that would be a deal breaker. But no, we're going to talk about Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We're going to talk about why and how you might want to hide your router in a dorm room and how that relates to Pinterest. And one of my super favorite people at Tailwind is here to talk about how to lead people positively. That sounds all very formal for what he does, but I think that you'll be intrigued to learn more about a leadership style that really works at Tailwind, keeps our engineers happy, keeps the rest of the team happy.
Yeah, and let us know if you like this new variety show. We're not going to be doing skits or anything, but it could happen. You never know. Yet, exactly. But next week we'll return to the original kind of, we're going to have Kristen Larson of PinVA talking about Pinterest and TikTok, which is really interesting. I'm still seeing a lot of TikTok stuff over on Pinterest. But let's talk about kind of, do you want to go in through our Bitly links real quick?
Yeah, we've got some.
Yes.
Well, let's go through them real quick, and then maybe you can pop them up at relevant times.
Sure.
Work your magic with that. But we've got a couple of things for you. First of all, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And if you're only going to read one thing about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you only want one Bitly wink. Go with this one. BFCM like a boss. And this is over at the blog on Tailwind, at Tailwind's blog. We have a lot of content there about Cyber Monday, Black Friday sales, and we're going to continue to add to that. But this is really your key to using social media to market your Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. Yes. And the second one is, we're going to go with another one. Yeah.
Yes.
This is all about planning your creative. So this is the time of the year when you are going to want to have a lot of creative, and Tailwind has a guide to help you work through that. And you can use Tailwind to do a lot of that. So, you know, one thing that we have found with our Cyber Monday sales is that we use one or two pieces of creative and need to have lots of different iterations and formats of that. So Tailwind is equipped not only to help you plan it, but to help you create your creative. It's very meta.
Yes, it is. So, and this next one's, I was really impressed, and I think you put these together, but this tracker, talk about this, because this is I think, worth its weight in gold, but it's really, really cool when I just kind of glanced through it this morning.
Yes. So, and clearly Bitly winks. I keep saying that, Bitly winks.
Right.
What does a Bitly link weigh? We're not sure. So it is worth its weight in gold. But no, this is a tracker that you can use to plan your sale. It will have you thinking through ahead of time who needs to be responsible for different activities, when you need to do those things, and it gives you a place to check them off, as well as to make a note of where you're blocked and put some notes so that you can circle back to those. I found it really helpful. It's project management light, if you will. Mm-hmm. So if you need a little help kind of visualizing how you're going to work your way from September to a Cyber Monday or Black Friday sale, this should be helpful for you.
Yeah. And this next one is, these are all kind of, I guess they're put in together in Google Sheets, so you can go and actually enter your own information, all that kind of cool stuff. But it's the planner. So, and I had to look up when I first saw the title of the show, the BFCM. I was like, "What is that?" I mean, I was so out of it. So I Black
Yeah,
Friday, Cyber Monday. So I know now.
it could have been a motorcycle
It
event. You
could be.
just never
Yes,
know.
right, right,
It's not that much of a variety show, though. So yeah,
right.
this is the brief that we use at Tailwind for a lot of different things. This one is specifically keyed to Cyber Monday and Black Friday. I have left a couple of bits of text in there, so feel free to make a copy, clear out all of my stuff. Anything that I left in there is just to give you an example, and it essentially covers milestone dates for the entire project. You get your messaging out at the beginning so that you're able to communicate that as often as you need to other people.
Mhm.
And then there are also lines for different channels that you might be using and how they're going to be involved in the project. So this is actually, as you think about planning an offer, a campaign, or a sale, this brief is a real pain to fill out. I'm not going to lie. It's going to take you some time. But once you have completed this, it's almost like the rest of it is just on autopilot. So if you are only going to download one planning doc, I would go with this and work your way through it. And once you've done that, you'll have the whole thing planned out. And I find it a very useful way to bring other team members. So if you're working with a team or even contractors, bringing them into the planning, it's a one-stop shop for everything that they
Mhm.
might need to know about the sale too.
Gotcha. And finally, we have the ad planner. So this is bit.ly/ads plan. So talk about this one.
Yeah, so if you're going to run some ads, this is a good way to get started planning your ads. And, it's a spreadsheet. There's no magic here, but it does divide up what you might do in terms of advertising on Facebook and Instagram. It divides up by stage of the funnel. So as you work through it, you'll plan the messaging that you want to use for strangers who have never heard about your product, for people that you are retargeting. And we do our retargeting in two different ways. People who have visited our blog, we still see as strangers to Tailwind, so they're very top of the funnel.
Mm-hmm.
Once someone has gone beyond the blog into tailwindapp.com and they're looking at different product offerings, we retarget them slightly differently. So this will give you a good overview, and there's some repetition in it. When you're writing headlines for Facebook ads, you're going to need to write different varieties. But if you do it here in the spreadsheet, it's set up so that there's a character counter, and you
Okay.
can see at a glance whether or not you've exceeded the limit of characters you can use. So altogether, this should make your Black Friday, Cyber Monday planning a lot easier.
Yeah, and
Hopefully.
we'll drop all, because there's a lot of Bitly links we went through really, really quickly. So we'll make sure we drop those down below. I'm sure one of the awesome people over at Tailwind are going to drop those in so you guys can get those, because they are really, really well put together. And make sure, we kind of start at the beginning with the blog post. Check that out. That's where you want to kind of start, and then they work your way through the rest of these Bitly links, and they'll really, really help you. But Susan, I have some questions for you, because
Ooh, okay.
you are this marketing guru. So about Cyber Monday and Black Friday. So how do you decide what discount or coupon to offer? Like when you're going through and deciding what actually will work for your audience, what are the criteria that you're using to say, okay, that's what we're gonna start with?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so the things that I consider are I need to take a step back before I think about the offer. And so
Mm-hmm.
the first thing I need to know is how much is each new customer worth to me? So the best place to start your Cyber Monday planning as far as an offer, we're a SaaS company, so we think in terms of how much the customer is worth to us. You might think, I guess in ecom, you would think the same way. Once someone has purchased from you, how much do you anticipate that they're going to buy for you over the lifetime of the company, or the lifetime that they're with you as a customer? And from that, then I need to figure out, okay, how much can I afford to
Right.
discount this purchase and still get value from the customer? It's completely possible to create a coupon that actually loses you money in the course of a year. Done that before, not a Tailwind. Um, that's not, I didn't get fired for that, but I
Right.
did learn a
Yes.
lot about how to run a sale. So you want to have someone who's good at finances, look at your numbers, make sure that are you're accounting for all the factors that you need to when you put together an offer. Now, for us too, when we do a Cyber Monday or Black Friday offer, and we don't do them every year, we realize that it takes a certain wow factor for
Mm-hmm.
that particular offer. Everyone is kind of offering heavy discounts on things, and so if you come in with maybe a 10% discount, I'm not sure that's going to resonate with the Black Friday, Cyber Monday audience.
Right.
So we want to find something that will wow the customer and that fits within our metrics, what we can afford to do as a discount, and we base that on how much we think someone as a customer will be worth to us over a lifetime.
Mm.
Um, if you have an option to create offers, I would choose something that maybe has a higher value to discount more steeply. Like for us, an annual plan is what we typically
Right.
will discount when we're doing a Black Friday or Cyber Monday offer, simply because that allows us to account better. We know if
Right.
someone has purchased an annual plan, they're sticking with us. But it also allows you to do a bigger discount. And so that's another factor to consider.
Gotcha.
As far as deciding whether you want to do Black Friday or Cyber Monday, I would say it's definitely the kind of thing where if you're used to running campaigns and
Mm-hmm.
offers, great, go for it. If this is your first one, I would start early and maybe not jump right in the day before. That's not going to work
Right.
for you.
Right.
So for something like this, you do need a little planning time. So that's probably the other question I would ask is, do I have time to plan this? Do I have the people that I need?
Yeah, and since we are, we talk a lot about Pinterest, and it seems like, why are they talking about Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Yeah, it's time to start. If you're doing a seasonal plan, you need to. And speaking of, I'm going to bring some of our guests. I mean, our watchers, our audience in. Carrie says, "Hello, everyone from hot and steamy Orlando, Canada." Yes, well, it is hot and steamy here, as in Texas. You can't tell, Carrie, but I am like a polar bear sitting on a block of ice. Just can't see it below the screen. And Nathan says he was just going to ask for the links, and we will make sure we put those down there. But yeah, this is where you need to start at bit.ly/BFCM like a boss. And that's all smashed together. So BFCM like a boss. That's where it'll give you right to a really in-depth article about what we'll be talking about today, because it's not too late, but you need to start. So
Yeah, it's not too late. We go back and forth about, do we start this in September or do we start this in October?
mhm.
We don't have a lot of conversations about, do we start this in November? At that
Right.
point, it's like, no, we're not doing it this year.
Right.
So yeah.
So Susan, what are some of the downsides to doing? I mean, you mentioned budget. You don't want to make sure you give such an offer that it'll bankrupt you. But what are some other downsides?
You heard that here first. You heard that here on the Tailwind
That's
show.
right. But what are some other
Don't-
things, like for seasonal stuff, like seasonal offers? Are there any other downsides other than when you have to compete against everybody else who's running a seasonal offer? But is there anything else that's kind of a downside for a seasonal thing like this?
Yeah, super question. I think that you have to be a little careful. Like I said, we don't do Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales every year.
Mm-hmm.
I think before I started, before 2019, we'd had a couple years where we didn't do one. And so I think you don't want to train people to wait for a sale to purchase your product. So that's one
Good
downside.
point.
And there's a little bit, I guess, of magic in that. How much is going to train someone to only show up for a sale? I don't know. But you certainly want to make yourself just a little bit unpredictable in that. So I think you see that in the run up to Cyber Monday with Tailwind as a subscription-based product. We have people writing in, usually starting about the end of October, and they're asking if we're having a sale. So I think thinking through how you'll handle things like
That's a
that
good
is
point.
possibly another downside. Especially if you anticipate a lot of questions along those lines, it's good to have an idea of how you'll respond to that, what your rules will be. If someone writes in at the end of July and says, "Are you having a Cyber Monday sale?" I'm thinking you're going to say, "Wait and see," or "I don't
Right.
know."
Right.
Um, because you can't keep your prices at a sale level all year round.
Right.
So you don't want to do that. That's a downside. Oh, yeah. So big downside with Black Friday, Cyber Monday is the whole holiday factor.
Mm,
You need to think through whether or not that's how you want to use your time. And uh, one of the first things that we do at Tailwind is we talk to customer success. We find out who's going to be on vacation. I've been in charge of running the last two sales, and so I do have a little moment where I'm like, is this a year I really don't want to have to
right.
worry with this
Right.
over Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
How much of a turkey coma am I really wanting
Right.
to be in this year? So that's the other downside with this particular sale.
S-
Um,
So another. So I think maybe an upside as we think about
mhm,
this. So you mentioned, okay, you don't do it every year, but you have people. It sounds like you have people inquire every year, like, hey, is there going to be a
mhm,
sale coming up? What are you guys doing for Black
mhm.
Friday? So an upside I would be thinking is either and kind of pivot them to another offer or another funnel, like, hey, we're not doing one this
That's
year,
good.
but we're having 10% off of this right now that you can get today. I guess that would be an upside to have a plan in place where you could funnel them if you weren't going to do something. But what are some other things? I think about like somebody's doing a Black Friday or a Cyber Monday sale and
Mhm.
they don't offer free shipping. I think that just kills it because everybody is expecting that. Amazon does it, and so. But what are some of the upsides that being in on this rush of people are wanting to spend money, they want sales, they're looking for
Mhm.
deals. What are some other upsides that you have found?
Yeah, it's been effective,
Okay.
so you're gonna make some money. So that's a big upside. People seem very willing to buy at this time, and I mean I am. I think about how
Hmm.
I spend Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I do a lot of shopping.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people are kind of primed to buy, and if you present them a good reason to do it, then they're going to. So that's the upside. It's an expected behavior. People who are interested in Black Friday sales are going to be thinking about what they can buy that they might not buy at other times of the year. That's definitely an upside. Um, I think that for us, one of the ways that the sale has been helpful is that if we are doing a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale and we offer it to our entire email list
Hmm.
and they don't subscribe, it's kind of a flush the funnel sort of thing. You
Oh,
can,
okay.
if people are not going to subscribe at your best offer of the year, then maybe they could not be on your list for a while or something
Right.
like that. So that's another downside. You kind of clarify where you're standing with people as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about, like, you kind of mentioned when you started for Tailwind, and you don't do it every
Hmm.
year. So how big of a thing is it? Like, who's all involved? Is it just you running it? I mean, do you have a team? Like, do you have minions that go off and do your bidding? How does that work?
Yes, I would love to have Minions. In
I know
fact,
we got
if you
all.
have a Black Friday sale on Minions, I'm going to write you
Yes,
every week and ask if I can get
that's.
it early.
I would love some
Um,
minions.
yeah. So we do have, I have been in charge, and we have one person from customer success who kind of coordinates the customer success aspect. And then my colleague Jordan has been kind of the second person who's really running the sale. And then the rest of the team is involved if they have a channel that is involved in the sale. So what that means is Kristen, who writes copy, might write some of our ads copy. The ads team is involved, and so those are the main functions, I guess,
Right.
that we have. Customer success, we have Jordan and I coordinating, project managing on the marketing side. We have the ads people who are developing the ads, running the campaigns, and then we have copywriting for this
Hmm.
sale.
Okay.
And the way I have found, I mentioned the planner doc.
Hmm.
So you have the tracker there, which is great. You want to get all those names in the tracker. And one thing about the tracker that I would definitely suggest paying attention to is that usually each task is going to have someone who executes. So their names are going to be the primary name associated with a task, but they're also going to be people that you need to keep in the loop. You need to ask for permission sometimes,
Hmm.
definitely do that. And so the tracker has columns where you can put who is accountable for this, who is going to be consulted, who's going to be informed. The whole RACI project management acronym comes into play there, and it's a really
Right.
good one to follow.
Very cool. And then you
Yeah.
mentioned the planner
hmm
too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I get everything out in the planner, and
Hmm.
then we use Slack as our internal comms channel. And I start a channel just for the sale, and typically then I archive that channel and I'll just turn it back on when it's sale time.
Gotcha.
So if we answered the question in 2019, maybe we won't need to answer it in 2021, is the thinking there.
Gotcha.
And then we have one kickoff meeting. And then as it gets closer, we have touch base meetings. And at the beginning of each week, I post a checklist of things that need to get done that week. So
That's a
that's how the
lot. I
management of the sale
I
goes.
can see why you don't want to do that every year. So what do you do
Yeah.
for follow up? I mean, I know one, it's tough because it hits at the holidays, and then
hmm
I don't know when is Black. I know what Black Friday is, but Cyber Monday is. Is it
Cyber Monday is the Monday after Thanksgiving,
okay?
American Thanksgiving.
Right. So, but then, I mean, you got all the people who want to take holidays too. And then, of course, there's not
hmm
just you have the sale and then you just go home. There's follow up stuff. There's like customer service. Things get returned. I mean, or they want their
hmm
money back. So, how do you manage all of the, the follow up stuff that has to happen
hmm
after a big sale because you have all this influx of people, you have influx of sales and communications. How does that process work?
Yeah, so for us, we like to think of a lot of the answers ahead of time.
Mm,
So one thing that I'll do is I'll draft the answers that customer success is going to give to people for all the questions that I can imagine. So, I'll sit down and think through who might ask for a refund, under what conditions, what's the answer to the sale going to, what's the answer to this going to be.
mm-hmm.
Um, and so we have a lot of those answers ready to go. We don't, because of the way Tailwind works, we don't have as much coverage. We do have some people who do customer success over the weekends, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't have a full customer success team over the weekends. So we turn our ads off on the weekends.
Okay, that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, so we wanted to just make sure that we aren't putting ourselves in a position where we're not going to be able to deliver good customer experience. So we turn those ads off. We also our sale is coupon based. So here's a little tip. The coupon will usually have a published end date, and that would be like midnight on Cyber
Right.
Monday. I've done the sales before where it goes off at midnight Cyber Monday in my time zone, and that's just a nightmare because you
Right.
have
Right.
people who are there like, I'm in California. I
Right.
I
Right.
should be, yeah. So we also we plan the official end of the sale, and then we don't turn the coupon off until usually a couple hours later. That just seems to make things easier for everyone
Hmm.
because you don't have people writing in at 11:59 that
Right.
they can't apply
So,
their coupon.
do you think it's a good idea to have like a countdown clock? Because I see a lot of landing pages like when the offer
hmm
expires. It's like, and then you
hmm
have a little drift past that. But I think.
Yeah, the drift is key. The drift is
Hmm.
for sanity.
Hmm.
And if you're a customer and you're listening to this right now, do not plan for drift. But
Right. Right.
make your purchase by the published time. But if you're running a sale, give yourself a little drift space so you're not getting a frantic text at midnight
Hmm.
that we need the coupon back.
So this sounds really stressful. So do you
Hmm.
have any secret sauce or anything that you do that helps manage all this? Like, I mean, you can't, swig vodka during the sale because then you would just all sorts of things would
That
happen
would
that would
be
be
wrong.
bad.
Yeah, don't do
Yeah,
that.
don't do that. Important safety tip. So
Mm-mm.
how do you do? I mean, how do you manage this? Is there a secret that you have?
Well, I think I've kind of outed my secret, which is that doc, the
Okay.
everything doc.
Hmm.
And so having a full plan over planning is one secret. Second secret, never get rid of these things. So, I have the emails from 2019. I have the emails from 2020. So if do a sale in 2021, we're not starting from zero.
Mm.
We're going to essentially treat this as another episode in
Right,
the
right.
Tailwind Black Friday sale. So so feel free to dip into things you've done before and reuse. I really do not think that anyone is going to notice if you have the same font on an ad from 2019 and
Right,
20, you know, it's
right.
like, don't make it harder for yourself. And that was what we did last year with our sale. Our guiding principle was, um, if you can simplify or make it less of a burden, do that.
Mm-hmm.
We we construct, I guess I have several secret sauces.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like a little kid who's got like French
Right.
fries dipping in
That's
ketchup
right.
and mustard and
Exactly.
mayo and then
I
a
want it
mix. Yeah.
all. That's right.
Yeah. The other one is write down what you learned. Do
Mm.
that while it's still fresh in your mind. Um, do that. And by fresh in your mind, I mean while you're still feeling the pain of anything that went wrong.
Right, right.
Make a note because you do forget. And it's good to remember, you know, to have that list of things you learned last year when you crank up the sale the next
Mm-hmm.
time around. For instance, we cut out some ads that we had run before the sale. We just decided not to do that the next time around. We're like, they weren't
Mm-hmm.
effective. They took a lot of time. So while you're still feeling the stress, the pain, um, you know, make a list of your key learnings.
Very
And then
cool.
I think it's always nice to like let yourself do a little shopping after you get your work done.
That's right.
You should
Go
have
and
at least 5-10 minutes to
that
click
you
through to
should.
someone else's sale. Yeah.
That's right. Help them out a little bit during the time. So very, very
Hmm.
cool. So is there anything I forgot to ask you that you think that we need to cover for this Black Friday? But like we've been going through them, I'm trying to bring them up on screen as much as possible. They're going to be in the show notes and everything. But use these resources because they really, they can really, really help you. And don't forget about the kind of the intro to it all at bit.ly/BFCM like a boss and Black Friday, Cyber Monday. If you are just hearing that and going, what is he talking about? But that's what
Yeah.
it's for. Yeah.
Oh, one thing I did forget that I should throw out there is that because this is like a flush the funnel sort of move,
Mm-hmm.
if you're similar to Tailwind in that, now's a great time to be filling that funnel. So
Mm,
especially if you're working on managing your ads budget, in the run up to the sale, ads will become more expensive.
right.
So doing some things now that are targeted at the top of the funnel to get more people onto your list, that's all a great move ahead of time. So build that list now, get them into your own email channels, and then you'll have a better audience to market to.
That's a great point. So, and that can scale for anything. That's not just for a big SaaS company. That's for if you have one product that you're selling or a digital product you're selling on your e-commerce site and you're going to have a Black Friday sale. This stuff all scales for that. So you want to fill up that funnel right now because it's super important because when you turn that on, you want to have that ready to go and that list to send to. So, good
Absolutely.
stuff. All right, so you're going to introduce our special guest for today?
Yes. So one of my favorite of all favorite Tailwind people is here with us. Andres Barbaro is our VP of engineering. And we just discovered that he and I started at Tailwind at a similar time. And we've worked in separate offices. So he's based in the Oklahoma City office. I'm based in the New York City area, but we've been in the same office on a couple of occasions because he travels back and forth and I've gone to Oklahoma. And it's just always really fun when Andres is there. You know, when he would get off the elevator in the New York office, there would be like this, like, hey, guess who's here? You know? So yeah, he has a wealth of knowledge, so people want to talk to him because he knows what he's talking about and is really good at what he does. But he also has a real knack for bringing joy into the room too.
So he's got
So
fans already. Nichole says he's one of my favorite people too. Janelle
mhm,
says ditto. So wow, you
mhm.
brought your fan club with you, Andreas. That's pretty awesome.
Yes, all my
Yeah, we
friends.
Good.
Tailwind takes employee happiness pretty seriously. We always check in on employee happiness. I know on the marketing team, we're always rating ourselves. So, Andres has been thinking about how to lead with positivity or to lead people in a positive way. We've got to work on your elevator pitch for this, but that's what he's going to talk with us here about today. So, if you're leading a team of people, if you're leading a family team, whoever you're leading, they're going to want you to hear what Andres has to say.
Yeah. So
Well,
um, Andres, kind of tell us what you do. Like, what is your? I mean, I don't even know. I saw your title and I was like, okay, Andreas, he is this big VP, and so it makes me a little nervous when I talk to the VP Engineering at Tailwind. What does that do? What does a VP of Engineering do at Tailwind?
Yes, it's a very serious title. No. Well, it's very simple. We have a software system. We are a SaaS company, and as a VP of engineering, my main responsibility is the team that is developing that software, and we are bringing value to our customers by releasing features, tweaking things into the platform. So it's a fancy title for saying the person who helps the development team here at Tailwind do what we do best, bring value to our customers.
Very cool. Very cool. So that sounds, like you said, very, very serious. But everyone's talked about how positivity is something you have. It's something you want to develop as a leader. So what is the secret of being positive? Because I don't know if you noticed, Andreas, but it's a little hard right now sometimes to be positive with the world around us. So what is your secret?
It is hard. It definitely is hard. And well, thanks for having me on the show, Susan. Thanks for the intro. And I think also that's simple to think about, but it's not so simple to carry out in practice. So I'm going to give you a little secret. So some of you may think, well, maybe you're just a positive person. You were born that way. Maybe you have it in you. And well, there's some basic level of positivity that we all carry, and we're influenced by how we were brought up and our families and where we live. I think the secret really is that this is something that you can practice and that you can get better with time. And the more you practice it and the more you make it intentional, the better that you can get. There's really no secret other than being willing to try it and do it. So I'll give you an example. Today, Susan and I are talking. We're going to have this show. We have so much on our plates. Like, again, Susan was saying, anybody who leads a team, you always are juggling. And if you own a business or do a podcast, there's always so many things that you can do in your day. So one of my secrets about this is when I look at my calendar, I always try to identify, rather than like, well, this is all the stuff that I got to do. It's like, okay, where in my day can I connect to key people? Where in my day can I bring energy into whatever we're doing at that particular meeting or hour or team gathering? And so I'm very intentional, and I think that's a key to being able to lead with positivity, is that it's more of a mentality than an innate capacity. We all have it. So being intentional to me is the number one secret.
Oh, that's good. So be intentional. So and listen, I've seen Tailwind's schedule, and you guys like your meetings. So how? And I loved what you said about there is you try to schedule time, and I've told my family and kids, it's like if it's on the calendar, it doesn't exist, and so putting that in there, that you're gonna, okay, I'm gonna schedule time to connect with key people. I think that's really good. That's important. But do you also schedule time? Because I think if you're burnout or if you're stressed, do you schedule time in your calendar just for Andreas? Like it's this is my time when I'm not gonna get bothered by pings on Slack, or I'm gonna shut myself in a closet and put my head under a pillow. How do you take care of Andreas? Like, because I mean, it's hard to be positive if you're stressed all the time.
Yes, definitely. You train yourself, number one, through time, through challenges, through trials. I usually, I have a benefit. I have kids, and and we wake up very early in the morning, and that's kind of like the trigger for me to prepare, and that's time that before the day starts. And then I do, at the end of the day, I walk almost every day for quite a while. That's kind of my evening ceremony, and walk. Sometimes I run, and that's perfect. Another activity is a little bit more fun. I don't do it anymore, but I used to do is mowing the yard.
Oh, you could come over and do my yard. Anytime you can come do my yard. I do not like that. That is...
Well, I can't say that I particularly liked it, but it was really good for that kind of like, white noise nothing really to think about, and just go through the motion, and that has been something really good to recharge.
I was joking about that, but I actually got some of I have ear protection because I don't want to lose my hearing, and I got the ones that I can actually listen to podcasts through. So I'm like, yeah. So now my mowing, like, I have to say it's not so much a chore anymore because I enjoy it in my podcast. So, Susan, did you have a question or a point for Andres that you were going to ask?
Oh, at our house, what's been really working is Wednesday nights, like a miniature weekend.
Oh.
So it's a silly thing, but it's been really helpful for me. It's like by Wednesday, I can be a little tired. And so Wednesday night, I make sure I quit work on time, go buy ice cream, watch something, watch some kind of stupid show that I enjoy. And it has that weekend feel in the middle of the week. So that helps me to be much more positive toward the end of the week.
Gotcha. So, Andres, you said that, positivity is something we have to work at every day. It's something you have to be consistent about. So why? That's one more thing I got to do. I don't want to be positive. What does being positive bring to the table? I mean, I like who I am. Why do I need to be more positive, Andres? Come on, tell me why.
I'll tell you why. So I think there is quite a bit of science that kind of correlates this with productivity and job performance, and all that is good stuff. I want to make it a little bit more concrete what it means for us and for an engineering team. So there's 3 things. Number one is, for what we do when we're writing software, we need to be able to critique our work. I don't know if you work with developers, but we usually, we're thinking of something, we're thinking of a way of solving a problem, and none of us can actually have the perfect solution to it. And when we think we come up with something that is really good, there's always somebody on our team who can challenge that and make it better, or find things that are not quite right. And so there's an aspect to positivity of emotional safety, right? So, and that's super important when part of your job is actually critiquing other people, right? Nobody likes to do that. So I think specifically for engineering, that is a super important aspect, that we need to be able to feel safely emotionally. And there's an aspect of positivity, there's a vibe, there's an energy that you can sense it, you can feel it, right? And I think for us it translates very well. When you begin with that, it's a lot easier to be able to provide critical feedback. So that's one that is very important. The other one that I would say is creativity. So, there's quite a bit of stereotypes about engineers. We're not known for being the most creative people in the world, and we do, not. Some of us are not, especially me, not as good at UI and doing things that look pretty. But we do need to apply quite a bit of creativity to solve problems, and things that are behind the scenes. Sometimes we got to do some math, or sometimes we do all sorts of engineering aspects. And that's another area where we need a lot of collaboration to be creative. And again, when you bring an environment where you foster positivity, it's a lot easier for people to just feel comfortable, to collaborate, to share ideas. Most of the ideas end up being discarded, or well, you think about it for 5 minutes. Oh yeah, that was kind of not a good idea. And I think concretely, it changes the game when everybody feels like I can do that, and it's can be shared with a positive environment. And the last one is organization. We need to interact with a lot of different people. Susan is one of our favorite, in one of our favorite teams. With marketing and engineering, we have a really good relationship. With product, with design, the same thing. And so being able to, sometimes with people who you don't work together very well, breaking the ice and bringing that positivity into the room is also a really valuable tool. So I would say, to your question, why do I need to do it? I think it really helps when you go down to very practical day-to-day things.
Right. Gotcha. So let's say, okay, I've decided I'm going to be great. I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to, exude that to everybody I come in contact with. I'm going to do it persistently and keep working on it. How do you encourage that with your team? Because you're a manager and a VP, and you have people underneath you in the organizational chart. And sometimes those people aren't the most positive people. We all have bad days. So how do you encourage positivity with your team? Like, what are some tools or some techniques that you use that you can, kind of let that trickle, you're positive and let it trickle down to others that are in your organization?
Yeah, great question. Well, I think you just touched on it. The first thing is, or the beginning is, well, I have to be able to bring that energy, that positivity first and foremost, right? And I think sometimes it's not about being happy. There's days where I'm not that happy, and there's moments in the day where I'm not that happy. But again, it's more of an approach, and it's being able to do it consistently and having an open mind about it. And when you're not okay, that's fine too. And being able to say it is one. So I think the first one is like, for me to bring that energy and be, set an expectation. The other one is humor. Right. We make a lot of fun of ourselves. We make tons of mistakes.
Do you make fun of marketing? I mean, do you just make fun of yourselves in engineering? Sure, are you?
No, all the time, and we sometimes are very sassy in the way that we bring the humor. But yeah, I mean, I think having a relaxed atmosphere and having a sense of humor is really important. And to your point about some people may not, be all that positive, I think you'll be surprised at what we have. A very diverse team, and I think you'll be surprised. There's numerous ways of being energizing and being positive. And I think as a leader, I always try to put a lot on that, and basically everybody brings something unique, and be able to cherish that and be able to encourage them to use it in their own way. And so I think not trying to, make everybody have the same approach for it is a very important tool. And the last one that I would mention is embrace failure. We learn a lot. That's also another very important thing about what we do as developers, as engineers, is like we're failing at something all the time, every day. And I think having the mentality that from that, there's always something really good that comes out of it, that we can learn, that we can do better next time, and be able to, everybody talks about celebrating successes. But I think for us, another tool is being okay and being comfortable with failing. We fail and we recover pretty easily. And we, as engineers, we put a lot of things on the system in terms of designing a system to be able to be resilient. And we need to do the same thing for ourselves and try to stay resilient. So there's lots of different little things, I would say, to encourage. And in summary, what I try to do as a leader is everybody has a lot to contribute. It's not the same for everybody, but find in your teammates what makes them click, what they're really good at, what they are really passionate about, what they can share, what they feel comfortable with, and try to always focus on the strengths and work from there.
I think that what you said about being a safe place to fail is really, I mean, you don't want to fail all the time or your business goes in the, starts circling the drain, but you want to, but having a place where people, I think we've all worked in places where you've had, where whenever you failed, it was such a big deal that you were scared to try anything new, and you can't innovate in a place like that. So I think that was a really good point that you made. One of the things I do want to ask, because Melissa says tacos. So talk about tacos at Tailwind, because I've gotten tacos before and in Slack, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with them. So talk about tacos in Tailwind.
Wow.
Tacos
you want to start, Susan?
Yes. Tacos are one of the most fascinating things about Tailwind. So it's like a virtual economy. And if tacos are a way of rewarding people for something that they've done. And it works on a couple of levels. So it's like giving someone a kudos or a hand clap, only we give them tacos. We use a system called Hey Taco. And the fun thing about it is you can congratulate people in our kudos channel for something that they've done, and you give them a taco. But what's really fascinating is they actually have real life value. So if I want to thank someone for something, I can purchase a gift and reimburse it and charge it to tacos. Now, I
Wow.
suspect the way this works is that we pay Hey Taco and blah blah blah,
Right.
but it allows employees to congratulate each other. And I think part of what makes it nice at Tailwind is that everyone's involved in doing it. The CEO, the CFO, they give tacos. It's not just a couple of people who are new to the company giving tacos. Now, there are a group of people who don't actually like the idea of tacos. Maybe they would prefer to get a different type of gift, like say a steak or something, Andres. And they've got their own system going on. But yeah, it's like a way of converting
very cool.
congratulations into a tangible benefit.
So I hope that I'm earning interest in my tacos, because I've never turned in any of my tacos. So I know I have some. So, but I know
we gotta
Andreas
look
has.
into that.
Andreas is going to eat well tonight, because I'm sure he got a lot of tacos for the team for this. So Andreas, thank you so much for your insights, and we all need a little bit more positivity right now. And so those are some great points, a lot of things on how to lead and to make time for yourself, and also embrace failure and have an attitude of creativity. I think that is super important. So Nichole really wants steak quesadillas, so we're going to have a revolt on the taco system here. That's what's going to happen.
Yes.
That works.
Well, thank you,
We
Jeff.
can do that.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate your example and the way you lead people. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah. Thanks, Andreas. We'll see you next time.
Thanks
Bye now.
for having me.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So we are going to end the show really quickly about we're going to talk about some of these Pinterest trends. And Susan sent these to me, and they're interesting. Of course, it's we've talked about at the very beginning how important it is. We're talking about, the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the seasonality and when to get started. Mm-hmm. Well, right now what's going on, it's all about back to school. So most everything in the Pinterest trends that came out last week was in back to school. But one of the interesting things that in this PDF that they released is this section about, it was about, I'm trying to find it. Oh, it's about gaming. Yeah. And it's a 59% increase on how to hide a modem and router. And I just thought that was so specific. And one, are they not allowed to have modems and routers? Are they hiding it for aesthetics, or are they hiding it because it's, they're not supposed to have these in their dorm room? I just thought that was fascinating. I was fascinating. But yeah,
I've never hidden my router.
Well, mine's kind of behind my TV, but it's not like I didn't go out to hide it. It was just interesting. But so there's like 86 times increase in couple gaming setup. There's a 53 times increase in small gaming setup, and then like another one in just plain gaming setup. So it's just people are going back to school and trying to, get their gaming on. So really interesting.
That seems a little incongruous, but until you remember, they're talking about dorms too.
Yes.
So if you have a product that is more related to apartments or to living in small spaces, this is a great time to capitalize on the dorm trends, because there's a lot about organization. Essentially what this is what Pinterest puts together some trends that they're seeing, comparing search volume year over year. They send it out to.
It's fascinating. It's really.
They didn't say I could share it.
I think we all got. I think I've gotten it before. I think.
I'm not special. Okay.
Well,
good.
We'll say you are. Yeah, you're very special. But
this is the. Yeah.
It's interesting because it is like back to school looks and all that stuff, which you would kind of figure makes sense. The gaming thing was a little interesting, but it makes sense too. But the last thing we wanted to talk about, because it has to do what we've been talking about from the beginning today with this, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, is there's been already a big pulse on upcoming holiday moments. So we've got festive Halloween decor is, a 5-time increase in Halloween gift baskets. There's a 4-time increase in Halloween tree decorations. I've never had a Halloween tree, but that's interesting. So
Yeah.
Halloween trees, Halloween wreath, which is cool for the door, Halloween garland. So all this stuff is trending right now on Pinterest. And then, of course, already Dreaming Up Christmas is another segment on this. So it was like 110 increase of whimsical Christmas. So people are wanting their whimsical on. We talked about positivity. We're all needing that right now. So I think maybe that would play into it. So very, very interesting things that are increasing. Like there's
Christmas gifts for coworkers.
160%. Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So if you're thinking about what to pin this month, you got to get into the holiday spirit really fast.
Yeah.
Because people, Pinterest, people are planning and they're thinking ahead. So it's much more about getting started on those things now.
And this is Jeff C. hypothesis is I think that 160% increase is people, we've been quarantining and we haven't been able to hang out at the water cooler. And I think people are wanting to do something for their friends and their coworkers. And so, let's give a gift for Christmas. So 160% up, that's a big deal. So kind of cool.
Yeah, that's great. And of course, I think we'll tie this into our Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale and suggest that people should give their coworkers the gift of Tailwind this year.
That's right. Give them. Don't wait for a sale. Just give it right now.
Just do it. Yeah. Bring the Christmas. Yeah. It's interesting too. We've got luxury Christmas decor and Christmas time aesthetic. 4 times the increase. So if you haven't used terms like that in your pins before, that might be something.
What's to
play off of.
What's really popular, around a lot of people put together like gift guides, and it would be really smart if you have products that would fit in a gift guide for coworkers. Start making that and pinning that right now because the search volume for that is up. And so I would, if that fits what you're doing, I would go ahead and start making those pins and pinning them today if you can. So
yeah, that's
Susan.
Great.
It's always great to talk with you. Thank you guys for showing up today. All like Edward and Melissa and Carrie, all you guys stopping in today, and Nathan. Thank you guys so much for stopping in. We'd love for you guys to share this out. Ask any questions that you have of anything we talked about today in the comments. We thank you for Andreas for showing up today and giving his wisdom and leadership on positivity. And with that, Susan, I'll let you have the final word.
Yeah, thanks so much, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Check out some of the resources over on the blog. Start with BFCM Like a Boss. And don't forget to use those resources. Feel free to share them around. They should be open on the web to anyone who wants to put together their ad specs or their tracker for their Black Friday sale or their superhero brief. So check those resources out.
Awesome. See you guys. Brian, thank you for popping in.
Thanks,
from
Brian.
the UK. I know you watch every week. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. We'll see you again. Bye now.
Okay. Bye-bye.